as I'm seeing this, like from a global sort of how this is going to play out, like from a chess match standpoint, and I want to hear what you have to say financially. Is America really like painting themselves into a corner where the whole world and Russia and these big powerhouses of Russia, China, and like India, which is becoming an emerging market, are just going to go no, and then America is going to be isolated financially? Like, do you see this happening, or like how do you read all this in terms of what's going to happen?
Increasingly, that looks like it's going to happen, and not just because Russia and China and Ukraine and India, they're forming this, as you say, alliance. It's not really an alliance. It's more so it's quid pro quo. You benefit me, I benefit you. We trade with each other, we benefit each other, and we make each other, our own countries, better. Because I think we've spent about 20 years dealing with interglobalization. Every single market is becoming more and more interconnected. But we had this switch happen in around 2018, 2019 time period, where every single country started becoming like, no, it's America first, it's China first, it's Russia first. Like every single country started doing that, and every single country began to be more isolationist. So when I say like Russia, China, and India, they're starting to form an alliance, it's more so that their positions benefit themselves. That's about it. It's not like they're buddies. They share some sort of same ideology or anything. It's literally like what Russia offers will benefit their economy. India and China are two of the biggest emerging markets. They are going to need fuel up until 2025, 2026, and they're going to be consuming massive amounts of oil, natural gas resources, because they are still growing and they have growing industries and they need that and they want cheap oil. So all of this just goes to benefit them. And the US, yes, their policies, they are trying to control Europe. That is more and more starting to go like, no, we're not going to listen to you anymore because you don't have that much to offer us. Germany, it's like we get all of our resources from Russia. We are very self-sustainable. We don't need that much from you. What can you offer? Intelligence, military spending, all of that. Like that was great before, but you really can't offer us that much anymore. And so when every single country starts turning inward and looking at themselves rather than, hey, let's grow a big global marketplace, the mentality starts to shift. And every single country is like, well, how does this benefit me? And it starts becoming more selfish and inward looking. And that all started with America. That all started with the entire America First kind of campaign. That's how I see it. And I think with the current administration right now, the current administration is not an America First administration. It's also not a trade policy forward administration either. They are less interested in building trade, building interconnectedness between the countries. You really don't see Biden making that many visits, that many trade policy calls, that much effort in forming trade relations, even though the US needs it. Instead, he's focusing internally on labor unions, on building the infrastructure of America, build America better, which is all well and good. But that's also focusing inward, domestically, and that's also promoting how America is going to be self-isolated in the near future, because this administration is almost self-isolating America in their policies by not paying attention to the outer world.
Yeah, it's very interesting, and it's really these countries, like you say, well before even COVID, like 2018, 2019, I saw, I think it was the beginning of 2019 or maybe even 2020, when all these Central Asian countries, Russia, Pakistan, Kazakhstan, all decided when they would buy and sell just, commercial physical goods amongst each other, they would use the dollar, and they got rid of the dollar for that. Now they're using their own currencies just for whatever, buying and selling products that either country makes and sells across the border, which is like, man, everyone is steering away from this. And even countries that are supposedly American allies, I think the whole world is like the countries that we sort of forced them to be our allies. We're just the big bully in the world. And the most of the world is going to be like, there's not going to be any love lost if America goes belly up financially. I mean, I don't, that people are just like, you guys have been pushing everybody around for decades. We're sick of it. So
exactly. And that's why sanctions and having control of the currency, it's really a double-edged sword, because yes, you can force people to do your bidding, you can bully other countries around, but other countries, eventually the power dynamic is going to shift. No one country in the entire history of the world has ever been on top for forever. So every other country is going to get their turn. And so if you are known to use your currency as power to threaten and push other countries around, of course they're going to look for alternatives. Of course they're going to look for RMBs and building their own SWIFT network, or even turning to something like cryptocurrencies and stuff like that, and building trade in amongst themselves where they know that they cannot be threatened.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching. We are still in our ninth month of demonetization from YouTube. So support what we're doing at patreon.com/Graham Elwood or rockfin.com/Graham Elwood, which is a blockchain cryptocurrency platform. It's free to sign up, and there's a premium level at $10 a month. And for that, you get everybody on the platform's premium content. Myself, Lee Camp, Ron Placone, Jimmy Dore, Whitney Webb, Kim Iverson, Abby Martin, and many, many others. You can also support what we're doing at Venmo at Graham-Elwood, and go to GrahamElwood.com. We have a PayPal button and a PO box. I also have crypto wallets, which are all in the show notes. Thanks for supporting what we do.